So, Blink Twice is the directorial debut of Zoë Kravitz, who is traditionally an actor. She wrote this script along with a co-writer who had helped write High Fidelity, a show that she starred on for Hulu for one season before it was canceled. In Blink Twice, we are met with Frida, played by Naomi Ackie, who is a young woman, lives in a crappy apartment with her roommate, Jess, played by Adria Arjona, and the two of them don't have a lot going on. They work as waitstaff at an event catering company, and one night they are catering the very nice event for a tech billionaire mogul named Slater King, played charmingly by Channing Tatum. And Frida and Slater have kind of a meet cute moment, and at the end of the night, Slater says, "Hey, why don't you come out to my fancy island with my friends here?" He's got a cavalcade of people around him. Haley Joel Osment, Christian Slater, Simon Rex from Red Rocket is in this group. A couple other odd ones, a couple gals. He says, "Hey, we're going out to the we're going out to the island for the weekend. Come with." And they say, "You know what? We're doing it. We're ditching our jobs. We're not going to pay rent this month. We're going to the island." They head out there. They all drop their phones in bags and say, "Okay, we're going to hang out. We got clothes for you, food for you, drugs for you. We're going to party for 3 days, gals. It's going to be a great time." And it is a great time. But some odd things start to happen on the island, and some strange happenstances. And our gals start to realize that they're starting to get these lapses in memory where they can't quite remember what day it is, or what they were doing yesterday for a few hours, or where they were. And when they start to put things together, they figure out, hey, we probably need to get out of here. And that's when things begin to take a turn. Blink Twice is I think I'm going to call it a hot girl horror, which is really fun and really delightful, and a surprisingly well put together first outing from Zoë Kravitz. I'm really looking forward to talking about it. Andy, what did you think of Blink Twice?
So I remember when I first saw this trailer, I didn't really think much of it. It looked kind of cliche. And then it came out and it had a lot of real positive reviews and buzz and word of mouth. And everyone said, it's not quite what you think. So we wanted to get back to it and check it out. I was definitely into it for most of the movie. I think the mystery of what's actually going on the island, it takes a long time before all is revealed. Remind me a little bit of Opus, which we watched earlier, which was a different, abscond away to the rich man's island where the horrors persist. The mystery, it takes a long time and it is slowly kind of dripped out to you. And it doesn't make a lot of sense until fairly late into the movie, but it does that kind of gaslighting thing where they're like, well, wasn't I here or wasn't I there? Or what where's that person? Or there's this thing with this lighter. Her friend Jess has this bright yellow lighter, and it's seemingly ending up in someone else's purse or bag throughout the movie. And it's like, why does that keep happening? What are we missing here? So it's an interesting setting. I was really kind of uncomfortable with where it went. If this weren't a female director and if it weren't Zoë Kravitz, I would probably might be grimacing a lot more, but she chose to tell the story this way. This had a much more vulgar alternative title, which the distributors were like, we can't do that. So they went with Blink Twice instead. I feel like it drags a little bit in places, but we have a really solid cast and good performances.
Yeah, and notably, great talent all around this movie, which I think really lifts it up. I think Kravitz is great in the director's chair. This is really good work. It tonally comes together really well. It takes a big turn about halfway through the movie, maybe towards the end of the second act, but in a way that is not off-putting, I don't think. In a way that I actually enjoyed and kind of pulled me in and felt fresh, and this streak of genuine emotion in the middle of Blink Twice that's actually really nice. It is different for sure. It kind of leans away from this kind of horror trapping traditionally to tell a larger message, but I think it's strong. I wanted to talk about the cinematographer for Blink Twice, because Blink Twice is a very good looking movie. It's a very good looking movie. And there's a lot of camera work. Typically freshman directors are a little lazy behind the camera. They'll do a lot of long shots or maybe a oneer. And our cinematographer, Adam Newport Bear, is no stranger to oneers because he shot every episode of The Studio for Apple TV Plus. It's all oneers. He also shot The Last Black Man in San Francisco a few years ago. He shot a couple episodes of Euphoria. Shoots a lot of Kendrick Lamar videos, and Kendrick's videos rock, dude. Like, and that immediately explains why this movie looks so good. Additionally, the cast is a delight. Naomi Ackie's great. Leah Shawcott's great. Channing Tatum, Christian Slater, Simon Rex, Adria Arjona. Arjona. Is it really with the J? Whatever. It's fine. Haley Joel Osment. Like, it's a great group of people walking around in this movie. It's probably too much talent, especially for some of these goofy dude characters who like they're really only background characters. Like, they could have just been nobodies. But Kravitz has these connections in the industry because she's been in it so long. And her dad, Lenny Kravitz, and her mom, Lisa Bonet, like, all that comes together in Blink Twice. Like, she's pulling in all kinds of favors here, and it works real good. Like, so it's a very good looking movie. But you're right, it's a lot like Opus. It reminds me a lot of Glass Onion. It reminds me a lot of The Menu. It does have that problem, that pitfall of, we're going to a rich guy's place, and the rich guy might get weird, and there's probably something sinister happening here. But I do think it manages to break out of that. Like, basically an efficient pacing, because they get to the island in like 14 minutes. I clocked it. I couldn't believe how fast you go from the beginning of the movie to we're there and the movie is happening. And I don't know, it's just very wildly efficient in how it tells its story. Like, I was impressed at how quickly it moves through the first half.
Right. It doesn't have setup fatigue like a lot of things do. And the cast is kind of, we get the opposite of what happens in a lot of horror movies. A lot of times you'll get a bunch of unknowns in a horror movie so that you don't know who is and isn't going to die. In this case, we have the opposite, where we have a cast of stars. And so you still don't know who's going to die and who is in on the sinisterness and who's not, because everyone's a name, and everyone's kind of paired up in this thing, guys and girls. So it is a big mystery, and I think that's one of the things that works really well in its favor is it keeps you guessing for a very large time, and you're slowly putting together clues, but you still don't really know what's going on. And a lot of times these movies will reveal that much sooner than this one does, but I think it's smart to kind of put that off as long as possible.
Yeah, I was really charmed by Frida, played by Naomi Ackie. We last saw her in Let Me In, which is a New Zealand film. I don't think she is an American. I don't think she has an American accent. Maybe she does, but she plays it great here. Blends real good. And Channing Tatum's really great as Slater King, this tech billionaire CEO who's like apologized for this recent awful thing he's done. He's like, I'm getting my life back on track, and I've got this little island with chickens on it. It's really sweet, like doing press tours. The two of them play opposite each other really well. And something that I wish the movie explored a little bit more was kind of their manipulative nature. Like, obviously he's a bit manipulative, like that kind of comes with the premise, but the way they meet is particular. Frida basically disguises herself and sneaks into this event de facto and lies to everybody about why she's there and what she's doing. When people ask her about what she's got going on, she's not super forthcoming with that information. Maybe she's shy, or maybe she's manipulative like he is. And like, I do think that comes up later in some of the larger themes in the movie. I wish they'd got a little bit more something together. Like, I don't know, when you actually get to see them, it's just kind of surface, but they're also getting to know each other. I don't know. They're both great. And when I think of things I didn't like about this movie, I'm hard pressed to come up with good answers. I like the turn away from the traditional kind of slasher thing. I think it embraces the format well with like the rich guy island. The horror stuff works. Pretty satisfying ending. I don't know. I'm running out of good things to say about Blink Twice.
I was just going to mention Naomi Ackie was in Mickey 17, which we saw a couple of months ago.
God, she is. Oh, boy. You're right. That is her, isn't it? Oh, dude. She's great in that. She's great in Mickey 17. Yeah. All right. Dude, Naomi Ackie's a real one.
I also did want to mention that kind of the messaging of this film, it's a bit of a warning on these kind of too good to be true, like, kind of beware if a wealthy person invites you onto their bus or plane or to their private island or showers you with gifts, kind of like beware of the strings with which that might come with, because you might find yourself in a secluded place without your device, without your phone, without a way to reach help, and the consequences of such a thing.
Yeah. Also worth mentioning some content warnings before we get to reviews. Amazon put a thing in front of this that was like, hey, there's some heavy themes of sexual violence in here. Like, which is I was just reading the other day. Apparently, Blink Twice is one of the first movies that they put this in front of. Like they've just kind of started rolling this out, and they started with Blink Twice and a couple other features. And now, on occasion, when you watch something on Prime, it may get a content warning. You could thank Blink Twice for that. So keep an eye out. It's definitely an R rating. Andy, would you recommend Blink Twice?
I would. It's a fun horror film that it plays with the format a lot. We have a great cast. You never really know what's going on. There's a big mystery about what's really going on this island, what these people are really up to, who's in on it, who's not, who can you trust, who you can't. It's interesting stuff with a powerful message. A really good film from first-time director Zoë Kravitz. Can't wait to see what she does next.
Yeah, smart. It's not a perfect movie, but I think it's got way more that works in it that doesn't. If you're a fan of the genre of like rich people are up to no good kind of genre, right? Or disaster on Paradise Island kind of thing, I think you'll like it. If you're a Channing Tatum fan, go check it out. If you like anybody in the cast, if you're like a Haley Joel Osment stan and you're like, he doesn't get enough work, go, sure, he's in this. Give it a watch. He's great in it. You know, like no complaints. Solid all around. Blink Twice is great. Would recommend.